welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to show you a quick brownie recipe. Actually, this was this came into my mind because tomorrow for my work for my teaching job, I was planning to, as I told you, most of you must be knowing that I'm planning, I don't know how much it's going to work out, a business like a small kind of homemade bakery, a small bite of goodies or kind of bites and like party kind of items to be made and try to get some customers and all. So I'm going to plan tomorrow to make some brownie bites for my staff and colleagues over there, and they are much excited and enthusiastic about the idea. So I thought, let me come and share with my YouTube friends over here, because it's going to be a decadent and scrumptious brownie recipe. It's a dark chocolate, and let me walk you through the ingredients. So let's get on with the recipe. So here I got some dark chocolate. This is being melted in the microwave. You can use regular dark chocolate pieces like chocolate chips, as well as you can use blocks of milk chocolate, dark chocolate, whatever you prefer, and add 3 tablespoons or 3 cubes of butter into it and melt it over there. So I'm going to just do that. Recipe, you don't need to worry it's going to take half an hour. It's just even the baking time is just around 10-15 minutes if you're using like a cupcake, small muffin kind of tray. But if you're using it in like you can do this in 2 types. You can make it in a brownie square 9 by 9 inch pan. For that, you might be baking it for around more than 30 to 35 minutes in a 350 degrees Fahrenheit. But over here, I'll just show you the pan I'm using. It's a small mini muffin tray. So this is very basic mix. I just added the butter and just swirl that in. Just add in a regular unsalted butter, because we are going to anyway add, if you prefer you can use salted butter, but just make sure you don't add too much of salt later on. So I'll just go and melt this and come back to you. So I'm now going to start with the white granulated sugar to 5 eggs. I added 1 extra egg because I needed some more quantity for this. To that I'm adding 1 cup of brown sugar. So as I said, half a cup of white granulated sugar, refined sugar, and 1 cup of dark brown or light brown brown sugar or coconut sugar, whichever you prefer. We just need to whisk all of this with a little bit of a teaspoon of salt, vanilla essence, and I'll be using the best secret ingredient to a good chocolate brownie is adding coffee. You can use instant, you can use brewed up on little bit of hot water, but I'm using just directly 1 teaspoon to 1.5 teaspoons of instant coffee powder, good heat, or 1.5 teaspoon of coffee powder for a good strong flavor. I'm just rolling it. Vanilla essence. And the best part of brownie, or this again, the most important tip for a brownie is we add or use very less all-purpose flour. The flour content, when compared to a cake or any other kind of baked goods, in brownie is less, and it's more of eggs. So that is the good part of it. Just scrape off all the bowels. You can do this in stand mixer or with a hand mixer, but I'm just using regular. It's going to be a quick brownie mix. So it's a very, you can replace this with coconut sugar and the flour with all on the wheat flour or healthy version. Now I'm adding the melted chocolate with butter into the mix of the eggs and sugar. So you can see that's the chocolate and the eggs and sugar mix, which gives a beautiful color right now itself, and we can see how soft, fudgy, chewy the brownies are going to be. To this, I'm going to add some little pinch of Himalayan pink salt, 1 teaspoon to 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, then a half a cup or maybe a quarter cup of cocoa powder, and then, as I told you, half a cup of all-purpose flour, which is going to be sifted into this. It's not too much. Vigorously, don't do vigorously. That's what I mean. So, flour mix. Just be very gentle. You can go up and down, cut, divide, go round the bowl, and then gently. So that's all. I'll just go and preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 to 180 degrees centigrade. So catch you by that time. How you grease the small muffin tray is just go a little bit inch away from it, and then just spray like this. As well as I'm going to spray the spoons, which I'm going to just put into the different toppings I'm going to use as a little bit of nuts. If you're nut allergic, you can skip this. It's just like pecans and cashews. I'm going to use caramel sauce, which I have homemade. You can use caramel fudges also, and a little bit of spread like Biscoff spread or peanut butter spread. If you don't want peanut butter, I'm using Biscoff spread and some sun butter. Just pour around half of it to each tin, because you need to add the filling too. Added a pinch of salt on top of it. You can use the thick one, you can use rock salt. I just add regular pink salt, so be very very careful of just adding a very touch of salt in it. The combination of chocolate, caramel and salt goes very deadly together, so please make sure. And for a couple of them, I'm going to crush some pecans and just place it on the top like that. A little bit of cashews for one. I'm just generally crushing with my hands. Use peanut butter. So it's going to be just melt a little bit in the microwave, and when it becomes smooth, just 10-15 seconds. You don't want to make it runny, just soft, and just apply it. Not apply, just a scoop just like the caramel. I'm gonna just add a little more of this brownie mix. About a good amount of, I believe this is 24, 50, 40, 45 to 50, or maybe more than 50-55 bites of brownies, which is good. So if one person wants to have a little bit more, I'm adding some chocolate chips right now. Totally option. Just you can use dark chocolate chunks if you want. So as I told you, I'm trying to make 2-3 versions of this. As you can see, these are the caramel sea salt pecan ones, and these, the plain ones, are the butter spread, or you can see the spread of the melted and the chocolate chips. I'm going to give a little bit of swirl so I can show you what I mean. Oven of around 9 to 10 minutes, because has these as mini muffins. If it is a square dish of 9 by 9 inches or something, please make sure to bake it the same temperature, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees centigrade, for around 30 to 35 minutes, and just check. If it comes out a little bit sticky, that's what you're looking for. Do not see for completely clean toothpick or skewer, but then that'll be like for a cake, which is not what we want. We want a little bit of fudginess or softness or stickiness on the stick or the knife, which you press it inside after, see if it is done. If it comes out sticky and gooey, that's it. Leave it out, and then your brownie will be done. So I'll show you after. As you can see, this has been sitting for 10 minutes absolutely, and it has done. We can see the top. I'm going to remove this and let it cool for 10-15 minutes on a cooling rack. Make sure that you make it definitely cooled and not take it out directly right now, because everything will disintegrate and the caramel and everything will come out. So as you can see, this is the one of the batches which has been done. So the nuts have become, I think even 7-8 minutes is done, because I think this was around 10 minutes. So if you do 1 or 2 minutes less also, it'll be much better. The remaining brownie, instead of the brownie bites, I'm going to make it into a husk just to make a little bit clarity. This is a 9x9 inch brownie pan, and the remaining caramel sauce. By chance, if your brownies do, by bad luck or something, it becomes a little bit crumbly or not sticking to the pan, even though mine a little bit became. So I'm going to plan to make something out of it. Don't get disheartened. I'm going to show you another recipe, which is cake pops. That is also really delicious, and that is very quick if you have cake remaining after birthdays or some parties, or if you have this kind of ruined or failed cake or brownie recipes, you can be able to make them very young. So right now I will show you what I'm doing with the remaining brownie. Adding a little bit of caramel, so it becomes like a middle layer is ooey gooey with chocolate and caramel. I'm keeping it simple. I'm not doing any nuts on this. That's about it. If you want, as always, I just say add a little sprinkle of salt on the top for that extra saltiness. And this goes into the pan, baking oven of 350 again for around 30 to 35 minutes. As it is a baking pan, you need this more than a usual brownie bits. For brownie bits, as I told you, you can use to 7 to 8 minutes to maximum of 10.
So I would like to add in the brownie bites. When you're trying to put the batter into the muffin trays or that small mini cupcake liners, please do spray or use cupcake liners, because as you can see, mine became a bit crumbled over here and it was not as which was expected to plan. So I'm switching to plan B, which is cake pops, and that will be shown right now.
Gently mix in all the cake mix, brownie mix, whichever you have with you. As I told you, if your brownies turn out absolutely good, what you need to do is in the small muffin trays, after you spray it, just gently coat it and add a little bit of flour. I've done that to the cake tin right now. Hope it, fingers crossed, that it works out well. Just make sure, maybe the temperature, always check the temperature, and if you need a little more cooking, please let it bake through a little more, so that when you add the caramel sauce and all, maybe it becomes a little bit sticky. That's what happened to me, and so this is what the end product is. There is a bit of stickiness, so I'm just planning to plan B. Always have a plan B with you. So as is for some of my teachers, I am definitely going to make cake pops out of it. So let's go it on. White chocolate, you can use that and dip that into that. So as you can see, if this is too much, you can just take it off as much as you want. So you see, it's correct. As I told you, if you add some kind of a grease like a butter or ghee, you're good to go. You don't need to add any other ingredients for the safety. And this is the easiest thing you can do with any failed cake recipes or brownie recipes. So this is like a learning experience for many of you. I'm sure many people who are trying to bake, who are not so good experts at that, or amateur level, or want to try style baking, they have many experiences, bad experiences. So don't worry, you don't need to get tensed up with that. There's always something in for us to try it out and save your cooked up or baked up goodies rather than just throwing it out unless until it's burnt or something. So as I told you, just keep working on that and come back. So these are the done cake pops. I got around 43 to 45 of them. So these are the cake pops which were sitting in the fridge for around 15-20 minutes. I'll let them sit for a little more extra time so it doesn't mind. And then now we are going to garnish, or you can say dip it in some pure milk chocolate with caramel sea salt. I had some chocolate. You can do regular white chocolate, dark chocolate, and if you have a contrast, it's the best thing is to have white chocolate. So I'm going to melt these chocolate one by one with some hot cream so that it becomes like a nice liquidy. I'll get back to you, and then we'll start dipping them in the chocolate, putting them over there, and then adding some sprinkles and garnish of your choice. Okay? Underdone, just please take it out. So this came around, I think I had set it for 35 minutes, but I took it around 27 minutes. So remaining of most probably 8 minutes. So I'm sure you pretty much, it depends upon the temperature, how hot it is. If you can basically take your brownie out in 28 to 30 minutes. The finished product of the brownie. I just added a little bit of drip of chocolate sauce, some butterscotch chips, and a crushed little bit of cereal. If you have biscuits, you can do biscuits. It's endless options for you. So hope that looks good. I'll be cutting them into bite-sized pieces. And then pressing to you. So stay tuned. So these are my 3 girls. Look at the one on the table. So they all love the brownies which we make. My good daughter is having a breakfast over there and preparing for exams, which is final exams coming up for grade 8. This one is a very naughty girl of mine who doesn't usually like to sit and do some DIYs and dance and all, but she loves to do nutty faces into the video, and this is the most cutest little baby, and she loves her sisters very much.